I'm getting ready to do my New Year's manicure, but first I have to do a builder gel fill. So I'm doing a short video to take you through that process because it's been a while since I did my builder gel fill video, and I'm sure it's changed since then. One thing that's changed is that this purple thermal builder gel by Dipsters is growing out slowly. On some nails, I've been able to file it off. On some nails, I'm afraid to go down any further. And I have been gauging the thickness of my nails. The goal is to be less than 2 millimeters. I'm just under that now with the thumb, and at 1 millimeter on the rest, I believe. 1 1/4, 1 1/4, 1. So not bad. Even finished with all of the coats on them. These are 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 1/4. 2 1/4. All right, so the thumb's a little thick. That's all right. But overall, I think I've done a lot better with the thickness of my nails. So, builder gel fill. What I'm going to do, what I've done is I've buffed the shine off my nails, and I've done my cuticle prep. I've pushed back my cuticles. Then I used my glass cuticle tool to get all the invisible white protein off my nails. And I've made sure that I don't have any cuticles sticking straight up. Everything looks good, so I'm ready to start my builder gel fill now. My first step, for the first time, I'm going to be using Young Nails Protein Bond. I've used Young Nails Swipe Solution to get the dust off my nails from the buffing that I did. And now I'm going to go in with the Protein Bond to make sure that I get good adhesion and less lifting. I don't usually get lifting, but maybe this is why, because I do this kind of stuff. What was I going to say about this? When you use your swipe solution or your alcohol to wipe the dust off your nails, make sure that you're pulling the dust away from your cuticle area, because otherwise you're defeating the purpose of what you just did. All right, so I'm going to make sure that all of the bare nail that's exposed, or the part of the nail that grew out, I'm making sure to put the Protein Bond on. I'm going to do this initial pass. I'm going to rub it into all of the roughness that I just buffed into that part of the natural nail. After I'm done here, I'm going to do a second swipe at this on all the nails. Are 2 swipes really necessary? I don't know, but that's what they say to do on their videos. So guess what? That's what I'm doing. And I'll come back when I'm done with that second coat. So just like everything else that we do with our nails, you want to make sure that the Protein Bond is dry before you go in for that second coat. And again, this is going to make sure that you get good adhesion on your builder gel that you're filling in, which is the base for your entire manicure. It also makes me feel a little bit better that when I go to pop off my nails, because I use pale base, it also ensures me that I'm less likely to, when I use the orange wood stick to pry up the dip powder nail, it's less likely that I'll pick up the edge of the builder gel when I do that. That did happen to me. If you remember, a few months ago, I did a video about the repair of the builder gel nail. I had effectively popped off, one of my pop-offs hung up onto the tip of my nail, and I did that video to show you how I repair things like that. But that happened because, here's what I was getting at. That happened because when I used the orange wood stick to pry off that peel base nail, the nail stuck to the dip powder and came off because I had gotten under the builder gel. So I like to make sure that my adhesion is really good for my builder gel now. So it's harder for me to get under there. I hear very good things about this. I will let you know in the next video how this performed for me. The Young Nails Protein Bond. I'm just going to give that a minute to dry. And then I'm going to go in with my gel base. Right now I have been using and loving the Cascade Colorworks HEMA-free gel top coat. I love it because I can get very thin layers with it. The thinner my layers, the better my nail art will look, because I won't be building up bulk before I get to the nail art part. All right, so that's dry. I'm going to do a very, very thin layer of this HEMA-free gel base coat, because it really only needs to be there to hold on to the builder gel that I'm about to put on. So I'm going to go up to the cuticle, but not touch it, and then all the way down to the free edge, as thin as possible. I'm not going to overdo it because I don't want to build bulk, but I do want to get the natural nail. Start back by the apex and push forward towards the cuticle, and then bring it down to the free edge. Very thin, not gobbing it on there. Now remember that your base coat is going to have a sticky layer, and that's because that helps the next thing that you put on stick. Okay, you don't want to wipe off that sticky layer. We want that right now because that's going to work to our advantage. So now that I've got the gel top coat on, it's time to add my builder gel. And yes, I'm going to once again use Double Dip's HEMA-free clear builder gel that glows in the dark blue. There. My filbert brush is my favorite for stuff like this. Stuff like this being gel. Let's rinse that off with a little bit of alcohol. I do not store it with alcohol on it. I store it with a little bit of gel base on it. And that helps keep the brush hair nice and even and healthy. So what I do now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop some builder gel near the apex towards the cuticle area, but not on it or really up to it yet. And then I'm going to take my gel brush and I'm going to push. Let me see if I can get closer so you can see. Here. I'm going to push the gel into the growth area that I'm trying to fill in. Not a lot. And I'm not going to touch the cuticle. I'm just filling in that blank area where the new nail growth is. And once you have it smooshed up to where you want it to be, then you can start pulling it back and across. I like to just mush it around, guide it a little bit, not really pull it, because now I'm approaching the apex area. And although I'm not going to really concentrate on building an apex, I'm going to leave the builder gel thicker down the center of the nail, so that when I hold my hand upside down before I cure this, it will naturally form an apex for me. Gravity will do its job, and it will pull the gel down into a natural apex. So again, we've pushed the gel up to the cuticle area that we're filling in, and now I'm just guiding the bulk of the gel to the top portion of the nail to form that natural apex. And I'm trying to thin it out over the rest of the nail, because we really don't need it there. And I don't want to thicken my sidewalls or my sides of my nails, so try to thin it out there, try to thin it out at the tip. And I'm going to take that bulbous part of what's on my brush, and I'm going to put it in the apex area to kind of help it understand where I want it to gather. All right, so this is the thumb. I usually do my thumb by itself, because first I'm going to let the gravity do its job and form an apex for me, while I explain that the reason I do my thumb by itself is because it's just awkward. If I were to leave the gel uncured while I do my other fingers, the thumb would be sideways, and gravity would still do its job and pull the gel to one side of my nail, and then I would be lopsided. Nobody wants a lopsided nail, right? Am I right? Because what that means is you're going to have more filing to do to even out that bulkiness on one side, and you're still going to wind up without an apex. So my nails are starting to get long again, so I want to make sure that I give them the foundational strength and structure they need to not break by building an apex. So one thing I'm looking for is I'm looking in this area to make sure that I didn't, by filling in that area, the growth area, I'm making sure I don't have a lump or a bump there. And I'm looking at the apex area to see if that built, and it did kind of pull, but I also have a bump there. I don't want a bump there, so I'm just going to very gently try to smooth that out a little bit. I would rather lose a bigger apex than I need than have a lump or bump there. Going to wipe the excess off my brush. See, now I don't have that lump and bump there. So I'm just going to look down the barrel of the nail, make sure that I'm not lopsided. I'm going to hold it upside down again for a few seconds because I did mess with it again. And basically what I'm doing is I'm letting it self-level smooth because I really don't want, I want to throw a top coat on top of this and then put my peel base on so I can do my manicure. I really don't want to have to buff this first and then top coat. All right, so that looks like it's self-leveled now. How do I know? Because I've been doing this for a while. You'll figure it out with experience. You know, just pay attention. Look at it as it looks now before you cure it, and then make sure to look at it from all angles once it's done, and you'll see what self-leveling means. All right, so after we cook that for a minute, it's going to be sticky. Your builder gel is going to have a sticky top coat, and we're not going to wipe that off because I'm not going to file. I'm just going to go in with a top coat, and I think I'm going to do that right now just so that I don't have a sticky nail. But I think that's good. I don't think I need to file it, so that worked out well. So I go over to my shiny top coat. Oh, damn it. That wasn't base coat, that was top coat. And it's cured. So we're just going to ignore that for a minute because Ginger can't read apparently. And I'm going to go in with my top coat. Oh, good Lord. I've had a day, y'all. I'm going to drop the brush on the apex area and push towards the cuticle area so I can get good full coverage without bulk in the cuticle area, which is a battle that I had to learn my way out of. When I first started dipping, I always had that huge bulbous area near the cuticle. So when I tell you I'm doing these weird things, it's usually because that's how I've learned to combat the bulky cuticle area or whatever. If I don't always explain why I'm saying to do certain things, you can almost guarantee that's why. Now I'm just using my cleanup brush with a little alcohol on it to clean up my edges to make sure that I'm not curing gel onto my skin, because I think I would cry if I developed a gel allergy. Especially since I just joined Madame Glam's VIP, so that I can start growing a collection of gel polish. And their deal, their VIP deal, seems to be the best one on the market, and I do love their products, as in their silver chrome gel paint that I'm going to try out today. All right, so I've got my top coat on there. I've cleaned up my edges. Again, just for good luck, I'm going to hold it upside down for a second. Down, upside down and tilted so that the gel pool is not pooling in the cuticle area. And then I'm going to bake that for a minute with, the thumbnail pointing up. This way, this nail is done and I can just go on and finish my other 4 without worrying about any of the gel on the thumb traveling to one side or the other. Some people decide to do their thumbnail last so that they can do the first 4 without worrying about anything pooling on their thumb. I do the thumb first just because when I do nail art, I use my thumb as my testing grounds. So I always just wind up finishing that completely first and then doing the rest of the nails. And there we have it. A completely filled builder gel nail. Ready for peel base. Now I'm going to go do that to the other 4 nails and then I'm going to start my manicure. But for today's video, we are good. That is a builder gel fill. I will leave links to the products I use down below. And I thank you so much for watching this video to the end. I will see you in the next one where I use my Sassy Mouth powders to create my New Year's Eve manicure. Thanks for watching and good luck, adventurers.